Welcome back to another episode of We Just Live Here.
Hi.
Today we're talking about book tropes.
Book tropes. Okay. So, what trope are you currently reading? I caught you off guard.
Yeah, because I don't know if there's necessarily a trope. It's more of a thriller right now.
Okay, but I had a question about that. So, are tropes mainly in romance books?
I'm sure that's interesting because I'm sure there's maybe tropes for like
action, sci-fi, fantasy.
Yeah, but I don't know because I don't care about those as much. I feel like when I'm reading a thriller, I just want to be like shocked.
Yeah, same.
Shock factor, twists. Maybe that's a trope, like twists. I don't know. Yeah, like.
But I think most suspense thriller books have twists.
Yeah, true.
So it's just like the trope is suspense.
Yeah.
But it's also the genre.
Yeah.
Okay.
My main book is a thriller. I am reading like a romance, but it has a lot of tropes actually.
Really?
So I would say it's a second chance romance.
Okay.
I know.
No.
It has amnesia.
No way.
Which is cracking me up because we just talked about this.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I love it, but basically, like, she gets amnesia and she's in the Navy, and the only way that she can leave the hospital because she has no idea who she is her ex lies and says that they're fiancés.
Oh, dang. So
but there's, like, bad blood
between them, but she doesn't know it.
She has no idea.
He does.
Yeah.
And then it's a second chance
stressing
romance.
him out, too. Like, he loves her. Like, he wishes they were still together.
Ooh,
and I have a feeling he does feel skeezy.
Okay, good.
Like, he's like,
as long as he knows he's being a scummy, like, we're good.
He just got out of the hospital, so he's basically about to be like, he's like, when do I tell her?
Yeah.
But he's thinking he needs to get her out of the state that she's in and back to his state so that the blow is easier to land, I guess. Like, so she doesn't try to stay because she's in danger.
Right. Okay. So also suspense.
Yeah. And like hero trope.
A hero trope. Okay. So maybe I jumped too far into, maybe I shouldn't have started with what tropes are you reading? Like, what tropes do you absolutely love?
Do I love? Who did this to you?
Me too.
You know I love
Who did this to you? Touch Her and Die.
Touch Her and Die. Enemies to Lovers is iffy, but I will give it a shot. It depends on how enemies to lovers they are.
Okay, I do like enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
I do.
I know you do.
Okay, so enemies to lovers, Touch Her and Die.
I feel like I do read a lot of enemies to lovers, though.
I feel like you do. I feel like we both do.
I think it just
like
depends,
a very common
like,
trope.
how bad are they enemies, if I'm going to enjoy it that much.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say that. I'm trying to think. I know more about what I don't like, because I'll give anything a shot.
Okay, what don't you like?
I absolutely abhor.
Abhor what?
Abhor miscommunication trope.
Oh,
cheating trope I don't like, because then I'm like, if you're ending up together, like, no, you're not.
No.
Miscommunication sends me into orbit. I hate it.
Especially when it's going on for like 75% of the book. You're like,
I'm like, have you guys heard of like
can we talk?
a chat before? Like send a text. Like, I don't know. And they're like both trying to communicate, but they're not like doing it properly, or they're missing each other. And I'm like, do you ever just think like, we need to sit down? Let's talk for a second. But instead they're like, oh, like, I think she's against me. I think she hates me. And I'm like, she doesn't.
And in her mind, she's like, I really like him, but I think he doesn't like me.
Something
like,
about that.
Can we just not and skip ahead?
I know one of yours that you hate or do not like is second chance romance.
Yeah, no, we've said this
but
before. When I see second chance romance, I say, no, not for me.
It's hitting too close to home.
Yeah, I guess so. But I still need to read one and like decide.
I'll have
now
to see
that
if
I realize,
have a good one.
Yeah, please do, because I do need to give it a chance. Yeah, I don't like second chance romance. I also don't like love triangles.
Oh, me either.
No. Amnesia ones, not my favorite, but I did read one that I really enjoyed. Shoot, I was going to look that up and tell you what it was, but I forgot. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But I did enjoy, there was one amnesia one, my friend's like, try this one. And I'm like, okay, it's not bad. But I don't know about this. She doesn't remember crazy things are happening.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't love it. I honestly put it down, which is not like me. Put it down to read the thrillers that I was reading.
Oh, so you put it on hold. You're like,
yeah, I've put on all my romance on hold. I haven't read a single romance in like 3 days. I'm almost like pretty much sober.
Pretty much sober.
Sober from romance, if you will.
So you're in your suspense thriller era.
But it's like
right
fall
now.
Is coming, so it feels like the perfect time for me to pick it back up.
Books.
Because I was such a thriller girl.
I know, that's where you started.
That's like all I read until I read ACOTAR.
And
here I am just reading about fairies all the time. But now I have to say, when I picked the thrillers back up, I am, and Caitlin, I always mention her, but we were talking about it because we read the same book. She's like, I have enough anxiety in my own life. And I was like, me too. I don't know why I'm doing this. Like my heart, like I went up to you like 4 times today.
I know.
Elise is like with a patient. I'm like, I'm freaking out.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to ask her afterwards. Okay, so, but it was so cool seeing you do this and read it because I haven't been around when you were reading thrillers.
No.
And so, and you introduced me to thrillers just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed. Love them. I've definitely been there. And to see you feel the same way I do, like, I'm like, oh, I know how that feels now. That, like, sometimes it's eerie. You're just like, I can't, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Like, I felt it in my stomach. I'm like, I'm so nervous. Like, I forgot about this feeling. It's ridiculous. I told Zach, I was like, I can't read this too close to bed. Like, I'm going to have nightmares.
Yeah, it's scary. Some of them are scary.
And that's when we got into
the
vampires.
Just emotion.
And he's like, why is there vampires in it? I'm like, not everything I read has a fantasy aspect, Zach.
I could go to bed perfectly fine after reading
vampires.
Trust
me, that's not a problem.
That would give me great dreams.
Exactly.
No nightmares. Oh my goodness.
What is it about thrillers that you think you like the best?
Okay, so some of these thrillers I can not predict.
Yes.
There are these twists that throw me for a loop. I am mind blown.
Yeah.
I did not see it coming, and I love that.
What's one that you think of when you think of that?
The Wife Between Us.
You love that one?
I love that one.
That is my favorite.
Oh my goodness. The Wife Between Us is one that is specifically speaking that there are twists that I had no idea were coming.
Yes.
Well, then there was this last one I read. One of the last ones I read, you said, well, who do you think?
Oh, was it The Paris Apartment?
The Paris Apartment. Yes.
That's by Lucy Foley. Also really good.
Oh my goodness. She asked me, well, what do you think? Who do you think did it? What do you think's going on? And I said, I honestly have no idea. I know it's one of them, but I have no idea that if I don't know.
And meanwhile, I'm like Googling away. Like it's been
because she read it
3
so long
years
ago.
since I read it. I'm like, who did do it?
And then she asked, is there a so-and-so? And I'm like, why? Yeah, there is.
And then I was like, Alix, you idiot. You can't ask stuff like that.
No, but it's, oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a good one with twists too.
Yeah.
I was not expecting
She does a good
things.
job with like multiple characters and tying them all together. But she's a bit slower to the punch. So there's not always constant action going on. Like sometimes they're just having dinner. Yeah. And that has to be interesting. You know what I mean?
And she does a great job.
Yeah, she does.
Oh my goodness. There was so much hidden information in there I was not picking up on. And
yeah.
I usually do. Another one that I was not expecting. Okay. It had The Maidens by Alix Michaelides.
Oh, that's an all-time like great to me.
It is dark academia. So it is dark.
Which you love.
I love dark academia. Yes. I love dark academia, but oh my goodness. So what was I going to say? Dark academia, but no, where was I going with this?
I don't know. It's very like, it is very thrilling. There's so much happening and you really don't know what it is.
It's got that eerie feeling too.
Yes. Very Halloween.
Also, yes. But also very, the main character is a psychologist.
Yes.
And she specializes in group psychology, which I find very interesting.
It is interesting.
And so you also get that aspect of it too, like information where I didn't know much about it and I'm learning that too.
For sure.
And different aspects she's coming from on a psychology. I am just butchering all these
That's
words.
okay. That's okay.
Like a psychology frame of mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't think like that.
No, me either.
So it was really cool.
But a lot of his books are psychology based.
Yes, at least the 2 I've read.
Yeah.
Which also is pretty cool because there was a throwback to the other book I read.
Yes, you did mention that,
Yeah.
which I read them backwards. So
Right.
I think I read the Maidens first
And then
the Silent Patient. So I never picked up on that.
But the Silent Patient, then the Maidens, and you pick up on it.
Yeah.
But
and he has a third book, and I'm part of the way through it.
is the third book his only? I thought he had 4, no?
No, he had the last one
Fury?
is The Fury.
And it's also psychology?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's also more based like a Lucy Foley book.
Okay.
Lots of characters with like a murder aspect.
Okay, I'll have to read it.
I have it, so
I'm
yeah.
excited. Okay.
It was good, but I just wasn't in like
You were
the
in
frame
your
of mind.
thriller era.
I was not there. So,
Now.
but I could pick it back up.
Ooh, that's exciting. So yeah, that's what I really love about thrillers is the unpredictability. Some of them you can predict, but some of them you can't. And then it's got that like butterfly. And you're
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, it makes me feel, and I love to feel.
Me
So,
too.
What do you love about thrillers other than that? Anything else?
I do love, like you said, the aspect of not knowing. Sometimes with thrillers, I did tell Elise that sometimes I would read like the last chapter or page of a book.
She does.
I did that with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because anxiety. Because if it's romantic, I want to know that something good comes.
Yeah, like happy ending.
Which, thank you for nothing, Rebecca Yarrows. But with
Rebecca.
thrillers, I want to feel that like surprise. I don't
Yeah.
want to know how it ends because then it ruins all of the secrets.
But also in thrillers, you don't always expect a happily ever after. But
No.
in a romance, you want a happily ever after.
Exactly.
So I think there's a different aspect to
Like
that.
you're reading it for a different reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I am a romantic. Like I love to read about love, but when it comes to thrillers, I'm fine with it being open-ended or except I will say not too open-ended. I do need there to be closure because there's a couple of Shari Lapena books that
Okay.
I think you've seen over there, and a couple of them are amazing, and they're similar to Lucy Foley and Sally Hepworth kind of vibes. Not like super scary, but more like mystery. But one of them, she ended it beautifully, and then she had another chapter, and it was like, what?
Is this the Neighbors Next Door? Did she write that?
Yes, I believe so. Neighbors Next Door or Someone We Know. No, I think it was Neighbors Next Door.
I read that.
And
And
the last-
I felt the same way. You're like, oh my goodness, good. And then you're like, you just undid.
I was like, why did you do that? Because
You
you're not
just
going to make a book
undid
too.
everything.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I was so upset. So that
book was
bothers
a
me.
throw against the wall frustration book.
Yeah, I didn't love
what?
that. I did not love that.
Oh my goodness.
I need some sort of closure.
Absolutely. Same.
That's kind of also how I felt with Verity.
Okay, I'm
not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say the
we
ending,
have our book club this week.
there
and
is
I'm reading it.
closure. You will get closure, but I told Alicia I could have had an epilogue, like a 5 years
it
later.
Doesn't?
No, like I'm a 5 years later girly. Like I want to know, like
I want to know where they are.
like, are
what
they
they're doing.
married? Are they having kids? Are they divorced? Do they hate each other? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. But if they hated each other and they got a divorce, you would hate the book.
I don't know.
So you
But
just
I would
want a
know
happily
at
ever-
least. I would
Yeah.
know. I don't
True.
want to
But this
always
is more
fill
of
in
a
the
thriller
blanks.
suspense. No, I don't either. It's like Inception, where like that movie
Yeah.
where you're like, wait, did the top follow her? Did it not? Do we
Yeah.
not know?
I know. I hate when it ends and it's like, and then she got on the plane, and then you're like, what? Like that's it. This has nothing to do with Verity. I just
Okay.
made that up. But like,
Better.
there's no plane in Verity. So. But it's
Yeah,
like she gets like she goes off on like an adventure. You know what I mean? Like the character, and then you're like, what the? Like, okay, well, how did the adventure go?
Yeah, like
Did she like it?
was it necessary for her mental health? Like,
Yeah, I
now
don't-
how's her mental health?
But I will say that book, and we've discussed this on the podcast before, that neither of us are Colleen Hoover people. And I think even in last week's or the week before, we talked about it again. But it was for the book club. We both said we would read it.
Yes.
And
she's done.
Yeah, I ate it up. I devoured that. And I was so scared and anxious for literally almost 24 hours because one, there's parts that I told you disgusting and just like, ugh. And also, you don't know, like, I didn't even read a synopsis. So I truly had no clue what I was like getting into. Like, I didn't know what
I didn't either.
is going to happen. I have no clue.
My friend Noelle asked me today, she's like, so what is Verity about? And I was like, I have no idea.
You're like, that's a great question.
Yeah, or not today. She asked me and I was like, I have to read it. I don't know. I didn't read the synopsis.
But isn't that kind of fun in a way?
Yeah.
Because I hardly read a book that way.
I don't often read synopsis.
Oh. What? I always read a synopsis. I need to know what I'm getting into a little bit.
When I'm searching...
Am I your synopsis?
Yeah. Like if someone recommends me the book, I just read it. So for the book club, if I have to read it, I'm not going to read the synopsis. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
But if I'm searching on Kindle or I'm searching, I will always read the synopsis and be like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll pick it up.
I get that. I think I could stand to do that more because I judge a book by its cover for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And its synopsis.
Yeah, that's why I've stopped doing that. I've stopped reading reviews until after, too.
I've been good about that.
Nice.
I didn't read a single Verity review or a Housemaid review. No.
Oh,
but the Housemaid, I am 10% away from finishing. I'm stressed.
By Frieda McFadden.
Which, if you've read The Perfect Marriage, or either The Perfect Marriage or The Perfect Couple, I think The Perfect Marriage, it's basically the same. Like very similar vibes, but she's not a maid. So,
okay.
But I loved that. But I loved that book. So, I mean, I don't know what that says about me, but
dysfunction.
Yeah, no, but I'm into it, and I think fall's coming. We talked about we're gonna read some spooky books this year. Maybe we'll post them on our page. So if you want to follow along and read with us, you can.
Yeah, we'll post that on Instagram. That's a great idea. Because we have a list of October books we have going.
We do. We have a couple Riley Sager, I believe.
Yes.
Which, love him.
Love Riley Sager. That was one, The House Across the Lake.
Yeah, that one was good, even with like the fact that it kind of got crazy. Very unpredictable. I don't want to
ruin it if someone's going to read it.
No,
but there's an aspect I was not expecting.
For sure.
Turned it around. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But someone else I had read it. They're like, I predicted that. I'm like, how? How did you predict that?
They must be.
Am I just not picking up on clues?
No, I had no idea.
Oh my goodness.
I'm over here like trying to come up with any possible explanation for this, and that was never one.
Well, Riley Sager, he's a little sneaky because in the first book I read by him, Lock Every Door, I thought there was going to be this aspect. I'm like, there has to be. And he's kind of alluding that there is. And then there wasn't.
And you're thinking, this is so spooky.
Yeah. It was just.
And it is spooky.
It was just messed up humans.
But it's also like could very well happen.
Which is so creepy. Like how, like, is it happening? It could be happening.
It could be happening in this house and we don't know it.
In this house?
No, I'm just kidding. But that is one of the books we're reading in October is a Riley Sager, I believe.
His newest one?
Not his newest one. Home Before Dark. And it is like a mansion. I've read it, but it's been a few years, so I think we could read it together.
Okay.
It's like a haunted mansion type vibe.
Nice.
Which, if you've ever been to Disneyland, that's my favorite ride there. So
the Haunted Mansion?
Favorite movie. Yeah, I love the Haunted Mansion.
Which movie?
The really bad one with
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that movie.
So you were gonna read that in October.
Yes.
We got to look at our list because we have a list, and then we'll let everyone know. But
for sure,
I'm excited about that.
Me too. I love reading during the fall. I love reading all the time, but especially the fall.
Yeah, it just feels good. But this will be my first year actually picking books that are more haunted feeling and more Halloween or that fall. I don't know. I guess I should start reading like a September fall book, then Halloween for October, and then.
Should we pick one together?
Sure.
Because we could have a September fall book.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of something.
So right now, though, I'm reading Thriller 2, Verity,
Yes.
of course. And then I am also in the middle of a fantasy romance, a romantasy, if you will, called A Ripple of Power and something. I just looked and I
know.
Dang it.
What's like a main trope?
Okay, but the trope in that is found family.
Okay, love.
Which I do love found family.
Me too.
Also, like she was born for a purpose.
Okay.
And she doesn't want to do it.
Of course. None of us want to.
Like, what trope would that be? Because that's often.
I don't know. It is I'm sure it's a trope.
Yeah.
But.
So that's going on, found family. And I will say a mini enemies to lovers. Mini.
Okay.
It didn't last long.
Oh,
then
I love that.
It turns into friendship to lovers.
Okay. Have you ever seen a trope that you're like, this is a trope? This is outrageous.
I don't know. Give me an example.
Okay, so the other one. I read like all the ways. I always read the tropes, like especially Kindle Unlimited. I feel like the authors always put them. The other week I saw one that was like wounded hero trope.
Oh, I love wounded hero trope.
Or like missing leg or something like that.
Okay, I was in a wounded hero trope phase. I was for like, you could ask my friend Kristen, my friend with the tattoo.
Yes.
So her and I, we were in a wounded hero trope for probably about a couple months.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
They are good.
I know, I'm sure they are, but like I like my heroes to just be like
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Messed up.
Perfect. Always coming to the rescue. Instant love at first sight.
But they can do that and still be wounded.
I know.
Tragic backstory. Something happened. They're stronger for it. Sometimes not.
I'm trying to think of like other funny ones.
They need the woman to help heal Foley.
Yeah, I guess.
That one's not funny. I love that one, actually.
I thought it was funny. If you're a wounded hero, I'm sorry, but if there's a book about you, I would probably read it. But
and love it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I probably would. I probably have read one.
Definitely.
But I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, that's a trope.
Yes.
Wounded hero. Oh my God, I've been looking for one of these.
I was like that. That was me like a couple of years ago.
Hey, we all have our tropes that we love, so I can't judge.
What else is a funny, like a...
I'm trying to think, like...
Let me see if we can find like a list of tropes. And then we can see.
Oh, I forgot one that I do love while you're looking that up. Grumpy Sunshine. I love, love, love that. That's one of my faves.
I love Grumpy Sunshine. I've read several of those.
They're just like fun because I feel like the guy immediately likes the girl, which I love.
Same. But they immediately like the girl? Or
like,
no, they're annoyed first.
They're annoyed, but like you can tell.
Annoyed that they like the girl.
But like, am I delusional? Because I feel like when they do that, that means they like them. Like...
I don't know.
They're like, oh, this is so annoying. I have to go to her house to help her farm animals. But then they see her and they're like, it's even more annoying because she's perfect.
I guess you're right. I don't know if I read it like that. I think they're just annoying.
Like I said,
annoyed.
I can make a romantic situation out of just about anything.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
What do you think about, well, we already talked about enemies to lovers. How about Secret Identity?
Mm-mm.
No?
Because that reminds me of Blood and Ash.
Oh, okay.
And
I was really disappointed in him.
I was very disappointed in Cass.
Yeah, same. Okay, what about work adversaries? I kind of like the boss.
I like boss and like lesser or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, an employee.
Yeah, boss employee, but I don't think I want them to be like work enemies.
Have you ever read 99%?
99% of what?
I think that's the book. No. No, it's called not 99%. It's a work adversaries, and they made it into a movie. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to remember.
We'll have to post it on our story and see if anyone has read it. Okay, tell me more.
Rich versus poor, unequal social status.
Okay, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
Like if they're flaunting it, no.
Absolutely. I agree. But if he is like showering
But
her
honestly, honestly, if he's a billionaire, fine. I don't care.
like flaunt
But then I'm like, there's
whatever.
so many billionaires in books. Like, let's be a little more realistic.
But also, let's be realistic. Let's be honest. How many people are running into handsome young billionaires who are looking for a tragic soul? Like
that, and I just read one where he was in prison for, okay, crazy trope here. I don't know what it would be called. She is working at this club, and this guy comes in because he's trying to buy part of the club.
Okay.
And she sees his face, and she's like, oh my God, like this guy ruined my family when I was younger.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's like also a little bit of an age gap, which hit or miss on those for me.
I don't know.
But not super big age gap. Like he's her older brother's age, and I think they're like 6 years or 7 years apart. So like not terrible, but anyways, he basically like beats her brother up so terribly that he loses an eye when they're in high school.
Oh my gosh. And she falls in love with this guy?
Yes.
No.
And he explains like why this happened and how he went to prison, and her mom visited him like once a week because he was a victim too because of his family situation. He had just lost his sister, whatever. Long story short, to get to the point is that he was in prison and now he's a billionaire. And I'm not saying that people that go to prison can't become billionaires, but like in the amount of time he became one, it's unrealistic to me.
Like he wasn't born into it.
No, his family was
created poor. He built himself up. I don't know. And
she
about
like
that.
had this normal life, and she's a struggling like artist working at this club. And I'm like, she had a better chance of becoming a billionaire than him.
Right. I don't know. Maybe prison does
all about
good
those
things
connections. But like, I was kind of like, okay, like, could he be a millionaire? Like maybe, but a billionaire, he needs a little more time.
Believable. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, yeah, that is a crazy one.
Oh, it was.
I don't know if I could. I mean, I think that cinched it for me is mom visited him in prison, and so she kind of approves.
Yeah, no, the mom like loved him,
okay.
And the brother was super upset, obviously, because he like lost his eye.
Yeah,
but he's been like secretly in the background, like getting him prosthetic eyes that like look real and like could possibly work, and getting him jobs, and like he's been doing nice stuff, but it's also like under the guise that he literally ruined his life.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that would be a tough one for me to read. Interesting though. Okay. How about opposites attract?
I don't really care.
Is that a trope? Friends to lovers?
Yes, love.
Okay. I'm like, okay. Enemies to lovers?
Like we said.
Yes. Forbidden love. This one is I don't know.
That's hard for me because I feel like then there's always the miscommunication involved in that.
Yes.
Like
it depends on the forbidden too.
For sure. For sure.
Like we're talking teacher student. I'm not about that.
No.
I can't.
I was thinking forbidden like their families were enemies.
Oh, like Juliet and Romeo? Romeo and Juliet? No.
But when you put it in the teacher student perspective, I'm thinking,
that's forbidden.
I actually don't love those.
Yeah, no. I'm like, oh, no, can't. All right, how about best friend's brother or sister?
Brother, I'll do.
All right.
Or I guess that falls into the same hat because it turns out being the best friend's sister.
Sure.
Or
I think it was just brother/sister.
Yeah, no, I like
that. I
didn't
ask you for like which one you prefer, just the trope in general.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Okay.
What about you?
I do like best friends.
Oh, okay.
Best friend and sibling. Okay, how about forced proximity?
Yeah.
Like trapped in an
elevator.
elevator.
No, there's only one bed.
Second chance. You're okay. Soulmates.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like mates, like in fantasy would be like mates.
I like that.
I like that too. Fake relationship. I like it.
It's hit or miss for me.
Okay.
Because I like it, but I get nervous. I'm like, like each other faster.
But like, in the end they're gonna be in a real relationship.
But it's not fast enough.
But it's all the miscommunication in between.
See,
because
that's a
now
lot.
we went in on it as fake, but I have feelings for you, and now I don't know how to tell you because this wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
And we're in miscommunication. So that one goes hand in hand
A
with miscommunication.
good one of those that I just read was False Start. I can't think of who it's by right now.
False Start. Okay.
It was a good one. I liked it.
All right.
And it's fake dating and best friend's brother.
Oh, dang. Okay, we're gonna have to check that out. Let's see. Holiday Flings. Rivals. Well, we already kind of talked about that. Sworn Off Relationships.
Oh, I feel like they're all like that. They're all like, oh, I'm not dating because I'm focused on my work. Or my last boyfriend cheated on me.
Yeah.
It's like they're sworn off. That's why we're having this conversation.
And then we already talked about Found Family.
Which I love.
I love too.
I feel like you can see that in ACOTAR, Throne of Glass. You could see it in, what book was it where I was literally like, there was no romance, but A Darker Shade of Magic. I feel like there's very good found family in that. I love
for sure. Oh my goodness. I feel like Red Rising also kind of has found family.
I need to try that again. Like, I didn't not like it, but I was also not finishing books at that time. So
right. Red Rising is more heavy. It's more of an epic fantasy, not a romantasy by any means, which I loved. I loved it. It's like a space opera epic fantasy.
Yeah, I think I could like it, but I need to.
It's got that multiple POVs.
Which I do like. That breaks it up for me. I like to see what the other people are thinking.
The last 3 are multiple POVs.
But the first 3 are just him.
It's mainly from his point of view, yes.
Okay. Do you like point of views that switch?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
But in first person or third person?
Both.
Okay. Does it matter?
Because like in what I'm writing, they switch even though it's written in third person.
Which I love. You do a really great job at that.
But I think that it's hard to switch it, and like it has to be by chapter still, in my opinion. Because you can't be like thinking about one character and then that like switching immediately to someone else's thought process, because I feel like then it gets kind of like twisty.
No, yeah, you can't go back and forth like that. It either has to be at the chapter or have like the dashes and then still in the same chapter, but
sorry.
It's okay. But a different thought, different person.
I totally agree. I agree.
It needs to be a clear.
But with point of views, I feel like I don't mind reading like, I don't mind reading books from one point of view. I think Verity is, that's a bad example because you are getting insight from.
Technically, you're getting second point of view because you're reading someone's autobiography.
But like, okay.
Okay, but what about these books within a book? Because this book, Verity, you're reading an autobiography.
Yeah.
In the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's another book called The Magpie Murders.
Uh-huh.
There is legit a book within the book, like another mystery book written in. So this author wrote 2 different mystery novels.
Which is crazy.
It's insane. I don't
which
know
is
how
Riley
people do
Sager's Home Before Dark. It has a book in it.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
So this is not technically a trope, but I think it's a genre. Is it a genre? I don't know, but it's a way of writing. It's epistolary, so it's written in letters. Or in like correspondence.
So kind of emails, like Divine Rivals.
Yes. That has an epistolary aspect. There's a book, I'm going to butcher the name, but it's historical romance, and it's called...
Did you see my face?
I said no for you. I love historical romance. I started there.
I think I could do romance, but not just fiction.
Elizabeth Mansfield books.
Okay.
But this historical romance is written all through letters from one person to another, not the same person, between like 6 people. It's this person's writing to this person's writing to this person, and it's a compilation of letters.
Is there any like body text, or is it all letters?
It's all letters.
Wow, that's interesting.
And you're piecing this story together, and it's so good. I was amazed by how much I loved it.
That's interesting.
It's called Guernsey's Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society or something like that. It's a ridiculously long name, but I loved it. And they made a Netflix original. And I watched it and I thought they did a really good job.
Wow. I love when that happens.
Me too. I was pleasantly surprised. So there's that too.
I like that. I don't mind the book in a book. I like anything that gets you like more thoughts into the main character or characters.
Yeah.
Letters, dreams, anything.
Like recordings, tape recordings.
Yeah.
In a Frieda McFadden book I read, Never Lie.
I think I'm going to read that soon after I finish all the Housemaid.
Oh my goodness.
Ones.
It's got tape recordings. You're listening and you're like, what?
You're listening? Oh, did you do the audio?
They listen and you're reading it.
I see.
They're listening and you're...
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I'm like, it jumps out at you.
No, I did not listen to that one. My sister gave it to me. She brought it from her library in Utah to our family reunion in Happy Jack. And she's like, you have to read this book. But we were leaving in 3 days. So
you had to haul butt.
Read it. It was so fast. It was so good.
Yeah, Caitlin said those are like super fast paced books. And I agree.
Yeah.
I mean
you almost read this in one day.
Almost.
That's insane.
I know.
You probably will finish it.
I will finish it today. But I did start it yesterday.
Okay. Still 24 hours.
I know, but it's a fast read.
But you're a fast reader. I am not.
Yeah. But like how fast I was reading to you today. It was like, I'm reading to Elise. Hopefully she doesn't care. But
I don't care.
I was just like reading. That's like how fast I go.
Really? I'll have to read to you one day and you'll have to tell me if I'm slow.
Okay.
We'll see.
So what?
Yeah, I love it when she reads to me. You can read to me all the time.
I do. I enjoy it because I'm already telling her about the book. So then I'm like, I want to keep reading so I could tell her more, but I can't if she's sitting right there and we're talking.
She could kick me out.
No,
too.
I love to. I love to sit and just sit there.
It's good. I love it. I can't believe how many times like our office manager comes in and we're reading a book.
I know. Sometimes I have to be like in the book. It's because I feel like
it's drama.
Today I said something like, well, yeah, and she was literally in prison and then she gets out and like now she's a housemaid. And I feel like that could easily be like someone think I'm talking about someone else. I'm like, in the book that I'm reading, though, they're crazy.
Yeah, she was in prison. But now I'm just going to say that even if it's a real person. In the book I'm reading.
That's like our code word.
Yeah, she's...
In the book I'm reading, I really don't like her.
There you go. Especially when we're around other people.
Yeah, it's
now
perfect.
No one will ever know when we're talking the truth.
Everybody better be on their best behavior.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
So what would be your favorite books? Like, let's pick a trope.
Okay.
Let's say... Oh my goodness, this is going to be hard for me because my brain is, I feel like fried after work.
I know, me too, but I think we can manage.
Okay. Let's do enemies to lovers.
Okay. I'm looking at my bookshelf because I'm like,
Obviously, Akatar.
Obviously. But like, are they enemies? Oh, yeah. They are.
They are.
Okay, yeah. Because I forget sometimes that he was like literally
Yeah, he was not very nice.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
But you find...
And Throne of Glass has enemies to lovers, which I think that's maybe more my speed.
That book 3.
Yeah.
I was crying.
Is it 3 or 4?
It's 3. Air of Fire.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And when I reread that, I was like, I don't remember him being so mean.
He was so mean.
He was
if my enemy punches me in the face, it's safe to say we're not going to date later.
He did. He punched her right in the face. But also he just said the rudest, most cruel things.
He was terrible.
He really was.
But I love him.
I mean, now I do.
And what about Xaden and Violet?
Enemies to
I
lovers,
do
yeah.
like that, but
Fourth
it's not
Wing.
my favorite because I find Violet like truly insufferable. So
she... Especially in the second book.
Yeah.
First book, not bad. Like, she is getting stronger. But in the second book, you're just like, no.
I'm like, can she be quiet for a minute? Can we get
you're
anyone
annoying.
else's point of view?
He should walk away.
Yeah, that's when we need multiple POVs because I could not take another second.
No.
I was like, toss a dragon in there, toss anything.
Proved over and over and over again, but he's not giving her exactly what she wants. And so she keeps whining and complaining and being annoying. I'd be like, peace out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Zayden needed to walk.
Oh, 1,000%.
She's not good enough for him.
I do think a lot of romantasy is enemies to lovers, to be
100%.
honest.
I do too. I'm trying to think of a good... I can't think.
What about your favorite?
Grumpy Sunshine.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. What is it? Apprentice? No.
Oh, yes.
Assistant to the Villain.
Assistant to the Villain. I love.
Assistant to the Villain is one of my
That
favorite
is a
Grumpy
really,
Sunshine
really good
ever.
one.
She's got the best snark and sass, and she's so sunshiny, and he's like just doesn't know what to do with her.
I know.
I love it.
You can't help but love her.
No, you can't. Oh my goodness.
That's a good one.
And I feel like it's not a class. It is classic Grumpy Sunshine, but at the same time, I feel like there are other, like, they really go on the grumpy, like these guys.
Yes.
But this one was done so well.
I liked, oh gosh. I want to say it was Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. But
okay,
whatever the first one in that series is, it's like
him.
Knox and somebody else.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
He is grumpy.
He is very grumpy.
That one was good.
I like, because it also had romantic suspense, which I love.
Yes.
I love somebody getting saved. Like, that's the thing about me. Who did this to you? And I'm going to kill them.
Okay, yes. I do remember that book. That one also had, was it Forced Proximity? She ended up living in their compound.
His property, yeah.
And then also, I do love the child. She had to take care of
her sister. Was it her niece? Yeah.
Yeah, she had to take care of a niece. I love that too.
I liked that one a lot.
Tropes.
There's honestly not a lot of Grumpy Sunshines that I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of it right now.
There's one by Mariana Zapata?
Yeah.
Where this guy is a superhero and he falls from the sky. It is so crazy.
Is he wounded?
It was out there. He was wounded.
Of course he was.
But he heals. I don't know. It was almost too grumpy for me.
Okay.
I was like, guy, figure this out. Like,
for
she
sure.
has sacrificed a lot. You got move on.
Catherine Cowles writes a lot of good Grumpy Sunshine.
I've never read one by her.
Very small town vibes, which I like.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, Catherine Cowles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do a best friend's brother.
Oh.
Or brother's best friend, either way.
False Start.
False Start. Okay.
I can't think of who it's by. We'll have to put it down there. But that's a really good one. They're like, she has to move in with him, or he has to move in with her. One of them, like one of their places is, I've read 2 books and each one was the opposite.
Okay.
But they live together and they like start fake dating.
I love fake dating.
I know you do. And
I do.
I don't mind it, but I need it to be like kind of quick on the fake, which it never is. So
no, it always turns into something else.
Or what about Brother's Enemy?
Oh,
a lot of hockey romances are like that, and I love that.
That is true.
They're always like on the rival teams, and
yes,
I'm gonna kill you.
I've read few, but I haven't read them in so long. I have been in this thriller era for a while out of a romantic era for quite a bit.
Yeah, you have.
So can't quite remember. But if I had my book log, I could go through.
She had her little handy dandy notebook.
Just to go page by page.
Mailbox.
I'll be able to help you. Oh my goodness. I should just carry that thing around.
You should. If I had my phone, I could go on my Goodreads. But
oh, yeah.
I don't know where she is, so it's fine. But, yeah, what about you for best friend's brother? Can you think of one?
I can't even think of one.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to read something of all these tropes. If there is a trope that we talked about or didn't talk about that one of you guys are interested in, or like message us, let us know. I would love to read something new.
Comment some books that you like, because we're always looking for recommendations and stuff to talk about all day long. So
yeah.
I think that's all.
I think that wraps it up for tropes, at least for now. We could talk about it all day.
I mean, we could be here till midnight.
We could keep
But we work tomorrow,
yes.
so we couldn't quit our day job.
Unfortunately.
No,
But
we love it.
we do. A little bit.
I like to clean the teeth.
I do too.
I had some good.
I like to work with Alix.
Yeah, true. Because we get to talk all day.
True. And read books together.
Well, that's a fun one. We'll see you next week.
See you next time. Bye.